Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is my NYX Face Awards entry for 2015. I really hope that you guys enjoy this one. If you do, please give it a big thumbs up, and also down in the comments let the judges know why you think that we should be in the top 30 this year. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and let's get into the tutorial. So I did half my face already, and now I'm going to show you guys how to do the other half. I'm starting out by curling my lashes this time just so I don't have to worry about bothering my shadows later on. And now I'm applying my NYX HD eyeshadow primer all over my lid as well as under my eye. I'm then applying my base shadow, which is a lime green, and I'm applying this to my lid and then blending up toward my eyebrow. Then underneath the arch of my brow, I'm applying a sparkly gold shadow and just blending that down into the green. For my waterline, I'm using the NYX Slide-On Pencil in Sunrise Blue, which is like the most beautiful blue shade of my life. And then I'm just smudging and blending that out with the NYX Hot Single in Electroshock. And then I'm using that same shadow to kind of mark out where I want to cut my crease, as well as kind of blend that out so I have a base for the eyeliner. So I'm kind of following the shape of my natural eye for this. I'm blending it up the highest at the inner part of my brow and then winging it out at the end. And then I'm going back in with that same Sunrise Blue eyeliner to define the cut crease. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fill in above that line in the same shape that I already kind of mapped out with that eyeshadow. And this liner is super smooth and creamy, so you shouldn't have a problem blending it out into your other eyeshadows. I'm then curving that liner in toward my nose and then back out, and I'm also going to fill it in. I'm going to gently blend that down, and also I'm going to blend that onto my lid just at the inner corner. I'm then applying that same Electroshock eyeshadow over top of the liner. Then I'm just going to go back and forth between the gold and lime green eyeshadows to really blend out the blue so I have a soft fade. I'm then applying just a couple coats of black mascara to my top and bottom lashes. I almost forgot, but I'm applying a gold eyeshadow just on top of that lime green on the lid. I'm then using my damp beauty blender to apply my foundation just all over my face, and I'm making sure to blend that back onto my ears and down onto my neck. So now I'm just brushing out my brows, and then I'm using the NYX Eyebrow Gel in Espresso to fill them in, and I like to start by defining the bottom of my arch out to the tail, and then since I'm going for a pretty sharp, bold look, I'm going to go ahead and line along the top and then just fill in the rest of the brow. Then for now, I'm just leaving that very inner part of the brow blank, and then I'm going to go ahead and just brush through to kind of separate the hairs. I'm then applying a concealer to the areas where I might want a little bit more coverage, or where I maybe have some blemishes, which at the moment I have quite a few. And then I'm just going over again with my beauty blender to blend that out. And I'm just using my finger to help blend that underneath my eyeshadow. I'm then going in with one of my favorite powders at the moment, which is the NYX Blotting powder, and this is in the shade Light. I'm just pressing this on with the little powder puff that it comes with and then swiping away any excess. And now I'm extending out the blue eyeshadow so that it matches the angle of the top, and I'm leaving a little line of that green showing in between the two. And I'm using my concealer to help define the shape, but I didn't want it totally completely sharp lines, so I'm using my little smudgy brush and just blending that out so I have a softer line. I'm then applying a pair of false lashes and then another coat or two of mascara. Once my lash glue is completely dry, I'm lining it across with a black pencil liner, and then I'm going in with the NYX Curve Liner to kind of fill in any gaps as well as help darken and camouflage the lash band. I'm then smudging that line out just a little bit so that it's a little bit softer, and then I'm using that same blue eyeliner for my tight line. For my contour, I'm using one of the NYX matte bronzers, and this one is in Light, I believe. I'm applying this along the bottom of my cheekbones, and then I'm just really blending that out so I get a nice soft look, and then I'm also kind of blending it up into my temple area. I'm doing this just under my bottom lip as well as along the sides of my nose. then using one of the NYX Illuminators to highlight the top of my cheekbones as well as down the bridge of my nose. I'm using the NYX 24 karat Glam liner to add a few gold accents around the brows. I decided on doing some dotting, and then I'm also using this liner to outline the inner part of my brows. Once I have that outline done, I'm going back in with my brow gel and just very lightly filling in the rest of my brow. And now I'm just adding some shading around the face, and I'm mainly using the NYX Primal colors, and this first one is in Hot Red, and I'm shading this around my forehead and down onto my cheek contour. And then I'm blending this red into the Hot Pink and Hot Fuchsia. I'm taking these colors back onto the ears as well as some blue and yellow shadows. And I'm not making both sides totally symmetrical, I'm just kind of making it a little bit random, and I'm taking that blue and I'm bringing it onto my jaw, and then along my jawline I'm using a purple eyeshadow. The main thing about this part is just really blending everything out so it looks nice and faded. Also applying that yellow eyeshadow where I applied my nose contour earlier. I'm then using the NYX eyebrow marker in Deep to create a design of dots and lines on my forehead. I started out with a downward arrow between my brows, and then I just added a few diagonal lines coming up from the center of my forehead, as well as a few just tiny V's. I also decided to add some tiny lines just kind of randomly throughout the design. I then added some dots just coming out from those lines as well as along the tops of my brows. I also decided to add a little arrow on my chin and then a straight line just coming down the tip of my nose. Alright, so moving on to the chest, and yes, I am wearing a shirt for anyone who has ever wondered. And I'm just starting out by doing a rough outline of my flower, and then I'll go in and kind of add some shading and dimension in a little bit. I'm using the same color to start adding dimension, and I'm just kind of shading around the petal, and the center will be left free of any product for right now. And then I'm adding even darker shading to the bottom petals. And I quickly came to regret the decision to put this flower on my right shoulder because I had to start using my left hand to do some of the back parts. So just a little side note for you there. And I'm doing this little purple flower just the same as I did the red one. I'm then adding some small teardrop shaped leaves to the little purple flower, and then some fatter leaves to my red flower. I'm now adding a big bright blue, more rounded flower to the left side, and I'm adding some little tiny green leaves in between the petals. Around the purple flower, I'm adding some of these small yellow flowers, and I'm using a yellow paint on a rounded brush, and I'm just pressing that brush down to get the shape of the petals. And I'm using 2 layers just to make it a little bit more opaque. I'm then going back in with my leafy green and just kind of adding some swirls and designs around the flowers to kind of fill up some empty space. And I'm also adding some teeny tiny leaves to the yellow flowers. I'm also adding a little design coming down from my cheekbone, kind of a vine or stem, and there's going to be a little flower hanging off at the end. I'm then going in and adding a little bit of pink to the center of the yellow petals, as well as to the tips and the center of the purple flower. And then I also decided to add a little bit of my yellow eyeshadow to the center of those purple petals. These are very, very subtle, but I'm adding that yellow shadow to the tips of the red petals, and then to the center of those petals, I am applying a light blue. Then for the blue flower, I'm using, this is actually my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk, and I depotted it and I'm using it on a brush, and I'm just using that to highlight the center of the petals. And I'm also adding just a teeny tiny bit to the center of all the red petals. And then the opposite, I'm going in very, very lightly with a black eyeshadow to the center of the flowers, as well as under each layer where the shadows would naturally fall. And I'm going to do this for all of the flowers. I'm then adding some of those bright shadows to the very center of my chest and then blending it out towards the flowers. Again, just making sure that everything is very nicely blended so we have a very pretty soft look. And then to help make everything come to life a little bit more, I'm going in with a black body paint on a fine detail brush, and I'm just kind of roughly outlining all the shapes and adding more details. I'm not making these outlines super sharp and defined because in the end I wanted it to have more of a flowy feel to it. I'm also using this to kind of help accentuate some of my shadows so that they are a little bit deeper. So here we have the finished chest piece, and now we're just going to finish off with the lips and the hair. I'm first lining and then filling in my lips with a NYX lip liner in Fuchsia, and then I'm going to go over that with one of the NYX butter lipsticks in Razzle. I'm then topping that off with a sparkly gold lip gloss, and I'm focusing this mainly at the center of the lips. And then for my hair, I'm just getting it a little damp by spraying it with a spray bottle. And then I kind of had a little incident with my red body paint and also a red hairspray. It didn't work out quite how I wanted, so I just kind of played it off and went with it and blended it out into my skin and added some of the yellow eyeshadow. Alright guys, so that is the finished look. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see if we made it into the top 30. And I will see you guys next time. Love ya!